Wesley and Will.
Welcome to another episode of Other Side News. I'm Wesley.
I'm Will.
And today we're talking about...
Suicide Squad.
which apparently is the worst movie ever made, according to critics. And so I guess it's just going to go toddle off to the bottom of Rotten Tomatoes for the rest of the time. And fuck you, everybody at Warner Brothers. And that's about it, right?
Right. No, I'm not going to rail on this movie. What I'm starting to wonder is, am I the only crackhead that enjoyed this movie?
Perhaps.
Because I don't understand why it's earned 26% on Rotten Tomato. And all the negative reviews, oh, it's worse than X-Men Last Stand. It's worse than Fantastic Four.
That's the one that got me, that it's worse than Fantastic Four.
If you believe that, then obviously you didn't even sit through Fantastic Four, all right? Now, I want to back up. When I walked into this movie after David's little FU to Marvel, you know, because he's just trying to build heat for his movie, I guess,
Yeah,
and it must have backfired into his face right off the bat. I came into this movie with, okay, I'm going to pick the shit out of this movie. Now, I'm not going to say this is a perfect movie, okay? It's not, it's not nowhere near Civil War, that quality of a superhero, or Days of Future Past, movies like that. It's not up there. But it sure is a hell of a lot better than X-Men Last Stand. I'm willing to fucking say that. So what did you enjoy? I enjoyed that so we introduced all these different characters, Deadshot and Harley Quinn and all that stuff. I get a little bit of background on all these villains, which I thought was kind of cool. I didn't have to get a full origin, Dr. Octopus, the birth of Dr. Octopus, the birth of the Green Goblin, all that shit. They're just there. There were some characters I do believe that were underused. Killer Croc's always been one of my favorites, and he doesn't really got a lot to do except retrieve a bomb later. Will Smith's Deadshot, I'd be shocked if he's not in the next Batman movie. He should be, because it would be a great continuation. And everybody's ticked off, well, the Joker wasn't in it enough. He wasn't supposed to be in it. I had seen the animated film that they did. Joker's not in that very much either. This movie wasn't about Joker.
Yeah, it's not his story.
It's about Joker. Joker's story arc is to save his girl. That's all he's there for. That's all he cares about is saving Harley Quinn. And I think Harley Quinn was awesome in this film. I thought she portrayed her very well. There's a lot of cute moments with, when she's with the Joker. They do flesh that story out way more. The main two stories is Deadshot and Harley Quinn. I think that Katana was underused. Here's this badass, I fight with a sword that possesses souls, and in the one scene that I got my sword fight, I didn't really get to get my, I thought, this is her spot. She should get to do the duel, but so I got the new villains introduction. They got to go save the world from one of their comrades that basically breaks bad and breaks loose. So Enchantress was one of the ones that Waller thought that she could put her on the team. It didn't work, obviously. Enchantress and her brother are basically, they're gonna wipe you. They're from another dimension. They used to be worshipped when they were here in our world, and now they are going to wipe everybody out because, she's been disrespected by Waller's character and, who had her heart, and that's what was controlling her. The movie it does kind of fall apart at the end because the Enchantress was such a powerful character within the beginning of the movie, and there's the way they ended up killing her, or the way they ended up just defeating her structure that's going to wipe out the whole planet. That part got a little weak because we already saw that she could do a lot of shit, but maybe you could say she couldn't do it because her heart got ripped out. I don't know. But I thought Deadshot was a really cool character. I thought Harley Quinn was a really cool character. I enjoyed Boomerang. I thought he was really funny. I thought it's funny that nobody's mentioned that Flash has a little brief cameo in this movie, so they were trying to sew it all together. Waller talks about the death of Superman, and this was our next best thing. This is what we got. We've got all these metahumans, which is what they call people like Aquaman, people like that. They're metahumans or whatever. So, they're left with the death of Superman, and she wants to build this group to take care of the next bad guy that could come down. And she basically is manipulating them into going and doing what she wants done. Yeah. And in the process of doing that, she's actually... she's a bitch. She's Queen Bee. And that's the only thing is the Suicide Squad, they're not really as bad as
No, in the
as
comic,
she is, or you know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
and in the comics, they weren't really a group that was made to deal with world-ending problems.
Yeah, it was, and that was the other thing towards the end. I'll get to that, but it was a redemption story because I was really focused on Deadshot and Will Smith's relationship in that movie with his daughter and the reason he does what he does and the confrontation between him and Batman. It was a surprise, and that's what I liked about this movie. To me, the whole movie wasn't predictable. You know, you knew what was going to happen down towards the end, but I was like, I didn't know which one of the squad was going to end up dying. And the battle between Enchantress' brother and Diablo, I thought that was freaking awesome. That was some pretty cool comic book stuff. I thought it was a better fight than I got with Superman and Doomsday. I thought it was a better fight than I got with Magneto and Apocalypse.
You didn't get a fight with Superman and Doomsday. You got a fight with Doomsday and Wonder Woman, and then he slapped Superman around every time Superman came near.
But I don't think...
To be honest, critically, I think that's a big problem with this movie because opening weekend at the box office was good. It was impervious to...
Yeah, it's made some money. I just don't
attack.
Understand the shitty
Now, over
reviews.
time, we'll see if that opening weekend was just the hype train that got people in for that first weekend, and then we'll see that first weekend equals 50% of this movie's total gross, which means it was hype, and then the rest was just, well, it ran 2 weeks in the theaters, so people wanted to see something. But I think as far as critics go, it is backlash from Batman vs. Superman, people that didn't like Man of Steel. I think people are wanting to feel down, backlash against the director. I think that's a big part
I really point a lot
of it.
at David Ayers for his comment about
I think
fuck
that's
Marvel.
a big part of it, is that critics are wanting to rip this movie apart.
Yeah, and I'm just saying it's bullshit, and I don't, people that are huge comic book fans and that are bashing it, I don't, these are comic book movies, it's Suicide Squad.
It's not meant to be taken seriously.
So I thought the team was structured pretty well. I like the camaraderie between the team, within this first movie. It's not as good as Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't see it as being a 26% movie at all. I totally disagree. I liked that I didn't know, what was going to happen. I didn't know, are they going to kill, this guy? I mean, I was pretty sure that Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, and Deadshot were going to be okay. But I thought just about everybody else was going to be, the Expendables, really. And, the Enchantress, I thought was a really cool, foxy little witch, I mean, she was a pretty cool character. And her fight, I mean, at the end, she's fighting all of them. And that's why I thought the fight between her and Katana, I would have definitely put some cool sword choreography in there, but they didn't choose to do that. And, yeah, there are some flawed parts, like when the Waller character, when she tells Flag to shoot or to kill Harley Quinn because they got the devices in their neck. So all he's got to do is push the button on his phone and he can kill one of them. Yeah. And he's got his gun. She's not even past his peripheral. It's like he could have just popped a shot off and killed her, but he's sitting there. It won't work because Joker jammed it and stuff. But it was like, so little things like that. But it was like, it's a comic book movie.
Yeah.
It's a comic book movie. And I didn't feel as insulted as, to me, the big difference was I thought they stayed pretty true to the characters they were portraying. And then they were put in a situation where they're going up against this Enchantress, which towards the end, when her device that she's building is destroying satellites and cutting ships in half, I was kind of wondering where Wonder Woman and
where's this
Aquaman
where's
and those
this
guys,
Justice League
where's
you're
the
trying
Justice
to build?
League guys,
They're not built yet.
Yeah, where's Batman? But Suicide Squad, they got it shut down. It was a fun fucking movie. I don't understand the backlash, my hat's off to them. Suicide Squad, kicks some ass. This was, to me, far better than Batman vs. Superman, and I enjoyed it more.
To be honest, Lassie barking at Benji for a half hour would be better.
I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Man of Steel. Because, again, but the whole problem with the Superman movies is not that the movie itself sucked. It's your version of Superman I don't like.
Yes.
It's like...
Which also, that was, announced. They're wanting to make Man of Steel 2, rendering Batman v Superman just utterly pointless, because even your Death of Superman you don't even let that ride. You're already talking about your Superman sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know he's coming back in the Justice League, but...
I don't know if
maybe it's just
trying to calm the waters or what their problem is in Warner
maybe
Brothers.
it's just burnout of... Warner Brothers seems to be making a lot of little mistakes in what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Instead of just relaxing, making good movies and understanding. So, I'm just saying, Suicide Squad, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is either, but I think it's like the youngest of two older brothers that were just utterly shitheads and teachers hated him, and then the youngest goes, and so the teachers are going to be harder on him because they didn't like his big brothers.
Again,
I think that could be what's what's hurting it.
The movie does have some of those flaws, but I'm like, if you're okay, I watched Fantastic Four, right? That flop bullshit battle at the end. This was nothing like that at all. All right, and the Joker, this is not my favorite Joker, but he wasn't bad. I can understand it's kind of a new generation, he's kind of the gangster. He's got all the gold rings and everything. So he's kind of, the gangster version of the Joker. And if you think he's just done, I mean, if Warner Brothers was really screwing this up, then you don't put Joker in the Batman movie. Because if you don't think Joker and Harley Quinn are going to be in that next Batman movie, you're high.
Of course they will. That'll be the
I wouldn't be surprised if Deadshot's in that movie. Because he's still got a little bit of, even though he's trying to play good, play good guy. Because the movie ends, spoiler again, movie ends with Joker busting Harley Quinn out. That's the last scene you see is Joker's face. So it's like, if you don't follow your Batman movie up with him going after Joker, or even Joker playing a little bit in Justice League, I would be shocked if they didn't. But I can understand maybe they're going to have something bigger for Justice League to deal with. Guaranteed you're going to see Joker in the new Batman movie. And you'll see, I believe, Harley Quinn. And I thought that Will Smith's Deadshot was great. And that's what I liked about this movie is you can take a bunch of villains now, you've introduced them in this movie, and you can put them in other movies and, and mess things, and cause some fun chaos. So I definitely...
Mainly in Batman movies. They're mostly Batman films.
Well, Flash is
Boomerang.
Flash is going to need...
Yeah,
he's going to need someone to fight because his movie's rolling around the corner as well. So
yeah.
Warner Brothers is trying. I can bash on lots of stuff Warner Brothers is doing, but this one really wasn't one of them. And remember, everybody that's down on Warner Brothers and I don't know how they're going to fix this and blah, blah, blah. Okay, they gave us The Dark Knight. Here we go. They gave us Batman Begins. They do know, they gave us Superman 1 and 2. They do know how to get it right. And honestly, even Superman Returns wasn't all that atrocious. I really wish that Superman would come back and this Man of Steel turns out to be Bizarro. Or some crazy shit like that. But Suicide Squad, it's a decent movie. It's got its flaws, but it's a fucking comic book movie.
Yeah. No, at the end of the day,
and I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed X-Men.
They're all comic book movies, and
So I thought Suicide Squad has definitely been the highlight for me since The Dark Knight Rises. So maybe I'm just still stoned, but I'm digging it. I'm all down for Suicide Squad 2, bitches. It's a fun movie. Definitely, like I said, better than a few that are out there. So go out, check out Suicide Squad. This is The Other Side, and I'm out.
There.
And fuck Rotten Tomatoes.